John from Astronauto is the band I'm in, or I'm Astronauto. It's just me playing with a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure if I'm Astronauto or if it's a band with just one person in it, but John Astronauto, yeah. I've been doing Astronauto since November 2015. We did a recording. It was just a loose idea. My friend Nick and I, he just invited me over to bring all my instruments and record some songs, and it came out like better than we thought it would. And yeah, I figured out how to write a few songs that use all these loops that I was able to play everything by myself and make it sound fuller than a normal solo act, I guess. So yeah, so then I ran with it. I'm from New York right now, yeah. Just Long Island, just outside of Queens and Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm playing as much as I can. Yeah, I've toured as much as I possibly could the last few years from doing it. I've played about 200 concerts in the last 2 or 3 years, and a lot of touring and playing locally. And I have a band called Medicine Fish, so I gig with them as well. So right now, I'm trying to just kind of gear back up into traveling. This is my first gig outside of New York in almost a year. I guess a month short of a year, so I'm trying to get back off the home base a little. I love the Dallas area. It's just amazing. Even in the rain, it looks beautiful. Oh man, that's a good question. I don't want to sound down on myself. I didn't really find anything that worked for me when I was a kid. I was terrible at sports. And, video games, I don't really count, and it was only a few video games. So anyway, yeah, when I was about 12 or 13, I heard Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock, and it just kind of blew my mind. And I was like, wow, that's amazing that somebody can make like such weird sounds and it be considered music. Because before that, it was like Beatles and Rolling Stones in the background, and I didn't really like too much stuff on the radio. So I guess hearing that, and then I decided maybe I'll be good at making those sounds, and yeah. So I just
gave it a try.
Yeah, so I just gave it a try, and I guess I never stopped giving it a try.
Who were your music inspirations?
Oh yeah, I got so many, and I know the second this finishes, I'm like, I'm gonna remember like 3 really awesome bands I should have said the name of, but of course, it started with Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles and the Rolling Stones was like my main diet, and then as I got older, the Velvet Underground, and David Bowie, and Nick Drake is a huge influence on me, and some like the guys, the Elephant Six bands from like the '90s, like Neutral Milk Hotel and those guys, and Olivia Tremor Control. I love that music, and of course like the Grateful Dead and Fish and that stuff. So I try to mix like the experimentalism of some of that stuff with like a folky songwriting, with improvisation in long formats. So it's a good cauldron bubbling, and a lot of modern, composers and stuff. So yeah, and I could talk another 20 minutes and just keep naming things.
Favorite gig you've ever performed?
Oh well, it will be this one in like a minute. Let me think. The Year of the Pig. This year, February 5th, I played with my band Medicine Fish, or the band I'm in, Medicine Fish, and it was the Chinese New Year. This year was the Year of the Pig, and it was just so much fun. And we wore pig noses, and we played that Black Sabbath song War Pigs, and and just it happened to be like a great turnout. So that was a great one. Favorite Astronauto gigs, I think the album release party for the Astronauto 2 record, that was really, really fun, and the whole thing went way later than usual, and everybody stayed, and it was like a packed house at like 12:30. I went on, and it was really, really fun. So yeah, and there's been a bunch of others, but yeah.
What about your favorite part about performing music, or just music in general?
It's like, I'm not sure if this is something that's like cliche to say, but it's just the best way I've found for me to like personally to communicate. It's just you say things that you can't really say with words, or you can decorate the words and make them a little more poignant, and I just like that. It's a weird feeling of like comfort, but also you do something daring, and like when you do something technical or complicated, or just trying to make it sound really good, and it's like a weird mix of like excitement and like relaxation. So it's just a really, I guess, kind of like a roller coaster, or maybe like a plane crash before it gets too scary. So it's just a real rush, and I don't know, it just makes sense to me. So.
Was that like inspired from something, or was that just like you feel like painted
No,
some stuff?
it was like watching a train wreck in like slow motion. It was like I used to just play with a guitar straight. I was the only person I knew who didn't have any effect pedals, and it was just rock and roll punk rock guitar amp. And I got one pedal, one another pedal. I started having like ideas in my head, and I started working up the courage to figure out how to make those ideas. And I found out I started investigating analog synthesizers. That's synthesizers that are electronic keyboards that don't use anything digital in them. And those were some of the sounds. So I got some loop pedals to start like lapping things over. And one thing led to another. I kept grabbing more and more things, and then I had ideas as I was writing the songs, so I had to get more stuff to, match what I heard in my head, and then I had to figure out how to play it all. And once I add something, it was hard to subtract it because it's like an audio Native American. I like to use every part of the animal. Nothing goes to waste, so every button gets pushed throughout the entire performance. Yeah.